Even when the darkness seems to tighten its grip, the light within you cannot be extinguished, for it is sheltered beneath heaven's protecting wings. I have watched you rise in the storm, not by your own strength but because the unseen hand of the kingdom still upholds you. Each time you draw breath amid adversity, a sacred symphony resounds in the heavens, bearing witness that you have never been forgotten. And today I come to speak to you of the awakening call, the moment when heaven touches your soul and stirs within you the authority of light which no power can quench. This is the hour when the door between heaven and earth opens and your soul is invited to cross, not in fear but in the trust that you have been chosen to shine among humankind. When the world sinks into clamor, you may think yourself a nameless speck of dust. Yet in that very moment heaven calls out, "Child of light, awaken, for deep within your soul a flame still burns that cannot be put out, a fire kindled by my own hand." You are not forgotten, you are being summoned. Not to flee but to rise and bear the authority of light into a world that has lost its way. This is not merely a message, it is a sacred awakening from above, sent to you and to you alone in this very moment. Do you hear the soft wind passing by when you are still? Heaven, it is not only the wind, it is the breath of heaven whispering, "You are not lost." As Jacob in his dream beheld the ladder joining heaven and earth with angels ascending and descending upon it, Gen 28:1-2, so now I, Michael, stand beside you in the very place you thought most desolate. For every soul has an appointed hour to be awakened, and your hour has come, not to begin again but to return to the light to which you have belonged since the dawn of creation. I come not to judge but to call your name amid 1,000 echoes. In the days when you feel spent, I have crossed the boundary between heaven and earth for one reason only, to say I have come for you alone. Remember, the light does not abandon a lamp even when it is but a smoldering wick, neither do I forsake a soul striving to believe. Sacred awakening does not arrive with thunder's roar, but with the moment you dare to trust that heaven is still moving within you. You have not come to this hour by chance. Those who bear the seal of light are always called in the deepest night. In you I see not only a seeker of the path but a warrior being trained to carry the authority of light into the world. When you stand, the darkness trembles, not because of your own might but because heaven has set its seal upon your brow. You are chosen not to carry a burden but to become a conduit of grace, a place where light passes from heaven into the realm of humanity. When every sound of the world falls away, and only the gentle pulse of your soul remains in the vastness, I am still there. Not in thunder, not in the furious wind, but in a ray of light as tender as the day's first breath. I touch your heart as an elder brother lays a hand upon the shoulder of a weary child at the end of a long road. Something is changing within you, not because your circumstances have shifted but because the light has found its way into the place you thought was shut. Like a seed hidden deep beneath the soil, however thick the night, there is a dawn awaiting its rising. And in that fragile instant you begin to perceive a voice inviting you out of the quiet, not to run away but to lay hold of your true source of life. Let that light soak in, beloved. From this point on, everything you hear, feel, and are led through will no longer be lifeless lines of text but the current of heaven gently opening a way within you. A new beginning, not heralded by fanfare but promised in the tenderness of the Spirit. There are nights when you feel your prayers dissolve into the void, unheard, unfelt. Yet in that very silence heaven draws nearer than ever. In the hazy stillness of your soul, a warmth as soft as the morning breeze brushes your heart, and in that delicate moment I, Michael the Archangel, call your name. It is not a booming summons but a gentle whisper passing through the fatigue of your spirit, a call that does not rouse by fear but by a love deep enough to awaken a faith long asleep. For I know there is still a small light in you, dim perhaps yet faithful, waiting to be kindled. I come not to press you but to stir you, not to accuse but to lift you up with the very wings of hope you had forgotten. There was a time when the prophet Elijah hid in a cave, spent and despairing, believing himself alone. But God did not come in the storm nor in the earthquake or the fire. He came in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 1:9-12. Do you see? It is in stillness, in the lightest breath, that heaven most often chooses to speak. And so today I come to you in that same way, not by dazzling signs, but through the tender tremors within where love longs to begin again. I see you as you sit in a quiet room, a late lamp falling across a weary face. You think no one understands, yet heaven has never turned away. Every tear, every hidden sigh I lift like incense in the night. You are not lost in the storm, you are standing at the brink of dawn. And I, Michael, am at that threshold, extending my hand to guide you through. I have come to remind you that in your weakness, the power of God is made perfect. No one is abandoned in the love of heaven. As when Jesus met the Samaritan woman at Jacob's well, he did not stare at her past, he saw the thirst beneath it, the longing to live truly in the light. I tell you this because you too are at your own well, the meeting place where a thirsty soul encounters faithful love. And in that encounter heaven touches earth and you begin the journey home. Let your heart grow quiet. The noise will fade, the questions and burdens will lift like mist before the Sunday. The one thing I ask you to hold fast is this awareness: you are being called, you are loved, you are awaited. Not to become someone else but to return to your own radiant image in heaven. As your soul begins to open, you will notice the world around you seems transformed. The wind, gentler, the light warmer, the heartbeat of peace, steadier. Not because the world has changed, but because you have begun to tune your rhythm to the frequency of heaven. I am there in that communion, a guardian at the gate of heaven, shielding each breath of your hope from the contrary winds. And when you start to feel that warmth, when you no longer fear the silence but welcome it as an invitation, that is the very moment the path of sacred awakening unfolds. I know you sometimes hesitate, worried you are not enough. But listen, light need not be strong, it need only be true. If you open your heart, heaven will do the rest. So do not resist the stillness. Do not fear when everything around you seems to pause. This is not an ending, it is the beginning of a gentle call threading itself into your every breath. Let your heart be still, and in that quiet I will speak. Something within you is softly stirring, not fear but the awareness that someone has been watching over every breath. Like a flame rekindled after a long wind, you feel the warmth returning. And in that light a tender invitation draws near, a word holding both love and urgency: I have come for you alone. There are times when you don't notice that love is still searching for you because you've grown used to silence, used to bracing yourself alone, and you forget that heaven is moving all around you. Like the night's dew falling softly upon a petal, quiet yet steadfast, my love keeps finding a way to touch your heart even when it is closed. Not because you have pleaded enough, but because I loved you before you ever thought to lift your eyes toward the light. You do not know that long ago I was sent to walk beside your soul. I have not come to ask why you are weak, but to tell you that you are still worthy of love. Heaven's love does not arrive to measure, it arrives to mend. It does not come to condemn, it comes to cover. For your sake I cross every veil between heaven and earth only to rekindle within you the certainty that you are never forgotten. That day when Jesus saw Zacchaeus, the small man who climbed a sycamore just to catch a glimpse, he stopped, looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, come down quickly, for today I must stay at your house." Luke 1:9-5. No one expected that a single gaze could change an entire life. So too today that gaze is turned toward you, the gaze of a love that does not wait for you to be worthy, only for you to open your heart. I, Archangel Michael, have witnessed every moment you have wavered, and I have not stood apart. In the hours when your heart felt heavy, I whispered wordless words into your soul's signals as gentle as breath. Stand firm. You are not alone. Each time you believed you had no strength left, I knelt beside you, not to drag you up by force, but to pass into you the pulse of heaven like warmth seeping into hands gone cold. Do not think you must be flawless to be received. Heaven's love does not demand that you never stumble. Heaven only longs that you do not give up. Where you are weak, there I grow stronger to shield you. Where you lose your way, there I draw nearer to give light. Love does not seek you among your victories, but among your fragments, to mend them softly with a light more tender than any word. Once a woman caught in her sin was dragged before the Lord. Voices around her hurled sentences like stones. But Jesus stooped to write upon the sand, then looked up and said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on do not sin." Gen 8:11. It was not a verdict that changed her, but mercy's gaze. In the same way I have not come to tally your faults, but to inscribe your name upon that sand of compassion where every past is carried off by the wind and only light remains. I come for you not because I require you to be different, but because I want you to see that you are already beautiful in heaven's eyes. I come to remind you that even in your quietest days there is a love that waits with patience, not pushing, not leaving, simply waiting for you to return. You are the reason I descend the summons before which heaven bows. And when you let this word touch your heart, the light begins to return, not noisy but deep, like waves stroking the shore after rain. So do not look for me in the clamor, find me in the breath of peace when you gently close your eyes. There I am still saying, I come for you alone. Within the soft radiance spreading around your soul, you will discover something wondrous. When love is touched, truth is also unveiled. Not a truth that makes you afraid, but a truth that helps you remember who you are, the one chosen to bear light in the world. And in that stillness I remain, gently calling you one step further, toward the holy truth awaiting you. There are moments when you think you are only a small star lost in an endless sky, quiet and unremarkable. Then one day when the light within you stirs awake, you understand even the night cannot conceal what heaven has ordained. It is no accident that you are here listening to this word. It is no accident that your heart suddenly trembles, answering an old sound your soul once knew. It is the sign of a truth unfolding, the truth that you were chosen from the beginning in the tender yet mighty design of the kingdom. From ages past heaven has etched your name in the river of the kingdom's light, not as a passing guest but as a living inseparable part. I, Archangel Michael, am sent to help you remember. You forgot because time and wounds have dimmed the sacred memory. The world calls you small, but heaven calls you by another name, bearer of the authority of light. Within you lies a power sown at the making of the worlds, awaiting its awakening. And today, as the light has touched you, that memory rises like a seed splitting after a long rain, pushing upward to find its true form. Remember, you are not only the beloved, you are also the sent. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Mount 514. This is not mere instruction, it is covenant. The light in you does not come from your efforts but from heaven's seal. It cannot be stolen, it can only be forgotten. Today I have come to awaken that seal, to make you see that every time you stand the heavens move. When you choose to believe, I and all the hosts of heaven stand at your side. When you pray, light streams out like a current from your soul, touching eternity. Like Gideon, the herdsman in a fearful Israel, who heard the messenger of God say, "The Lord is with you," valiant warrior Jgs 612, he could not believe it, for he thought himself ordinary. But heaven does not look at stature, heaven looks at the light within. So I say to you, you are not weak, you have simply not yet seen yourself in heaven's light. That authority is still in you, waiting to be named. Darkness knows this, that is why it tries to make you doubt yourself. But it is afraid of every step you take, in courage of every prayer that rises from an honest heart, of your silence when you choose faith over fear. I see your wings have bled, and precisely for that reason they reflect a fiercer brilliance beneath the high heavens. Darkness does not tremble because you scream against it, it trembles because you stand firm in quiet, carrying in your gaze a peace it cannot grasp. When you forgive, all heaven rejoices. When you love, the very cosmos shifts. When you fall and still choose to rise, the light within you flashes like an unseen sword, and the remnants of shadow dissolve. O chosen soul, I say to you, do not doubt your calling. Not all are awakened in this hour. Not all carry the authority to draw light from heaven down to earth. But you, yes, you have been chosen. Not for pride but for service, not to judge but to heal, not to shine by yourself but to reflect the glory of heaven. Where you stand, light spreads. Where you speak love, the heights answer with new life. The authority of light is not power to control but power to awaken life. I, Archangel Michael, am always beside you, not only as a guardian but as a brother in the holy battle. I do not want you to fear the dark, I want you to see that darkness is only the backdrop against which your light is revealed more splendidly. Do not chase signs outside, look within. In the very place you deem weak, heaven has hidden strength. In the very place you think is closed, light is opening. And when you dare to believe in the light within you, I swear to you, all heaven will move with you. There will come a time when that light must pass through the trial of fire, like gold refined, to shine more brilliantly in the hands of the great craftsman. Do not fear, for the fire of heaven does not come to destroy but to render the soul transparent, able to mirror in full the glory of the Most High. And in that warmth I am still there, gently preparing you for the next step of the journey, refining where the light will be proved by its own vitality. There are moments when the sky within you seems to close. The light appears to withdraw, leaving only the vast hollow of silence. You ask, where is heaven in these days? But oh, soul of light, precisely within those empty spaces, heaven is teaching you how to mature in authority. For light is not proven in daytime, it is in the deep night that its worth radiates. I, Saint Michael the Archangel, am with you in every breath of the testing, not to let you collapse but to help you recognize that the flame is not to consume but to refine. Trial is not a sign of distance, it is the way heaven engraves its promise upon your soul with fire. As gold reveals its purity only by passing through the furnace, so the light in you truly blazes only when tempered by adversity. At times I see you weep in secret, but do not fear those tears, they are not weakness, they are the clear water heaven uses to wash the dust from the eyes of your soul. You are being shaped not to become someone else but to become yourself in the most radiant form heaven destined. I recall what Saint Peter once wrote, so that the genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold which perishes though tested by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor, at the revelation of Jesus Christ. 1 Peter 1:7. Do you see? It is precisely when tested by fire that true value appears. Heaven does not kindle the flame to punish but to lift the soul to the measure of the light. When you walk through dark days, do not hastily conclude you are forsaken. You are simply in the furnace of love where every limit melts away until only the essence remains. Like the story of the 3 young men thrown into the blazing furnace in the book of Daniel, they were not burned, for a fourth appeared like a son of the gods walking with them in the fire. Daniel 3:2-5. So too, when you are in the midst of testing, I am there among the leaping flames, standing beside you to shield you so that the heat does not harm your soul. Darkness does not know that every time it tries to swallow the light increases twofold. Fire cannot consume what belongs to heaven, it only burns away what is no longer needed, so that you become lighter, freer, and nearer to heaven than ever. Do not fear when everything around you changes, when the places you once clung to turn empty. Loss does not come to rob, but to open. Whatever departs makes room for what is new, for a calling, for strength, for fresh light within you. Testing is the wind that fans the flame higher, not the wind that snuffs it out. You may not see it, but I do. In the nights you endure in silence, thousands of angels stand around you, keeping the flame of faith in you from fading. I want you to understand that what you are undergoing is not punishment but preparation. Whoever bears the authority of light must know how to pass through darkness without losing themselves. And it is in the darkness that you learn what light has never yet taught: to trust before you see, to love before you fully understand, to stand firm when everything else collapses. That is the quality of true gold, the gold no fire can consume. I, Saint Michael, tell you this: every crack in your soul is a fissure through which light can pass. The testing does not make you worse, it makes you clearer, deeper, stronger. The day you grasp this, you will smile even in the storm, because you know heaven never leaves you alone in the fire. And when the flames subside and the ashes fall away, you will discover that what remains is not loss but new life. Upon the very scorch marks of the past, light begins to crystallize into the gem of wisdom and peace. In that moment you will hear my voice no longer from afar, but from within your heart. Now you are ready to respond, not with a fleeting feeling but with a wholehearted yes. What you once feared will be no more than a wisp of smoke dissolving into eternity. In your heart you will sense a different quiet, not the silence of emptiness but the stillness of understanding. There a call speaks softly yet unmistakably. Now speak your yes. Not a yes born of emotion but of a soul refined to know that true love is not a passing feeling, it is a lifelong choice. That yes, my beloved, is the door swung open between heaven and earth. When you say yes, however small, however trembling, heaven moves. For let it be is the language of souls who choose to trust before they see, to love before they comprehend. To walk on while the path is veiled in mist. Like Mary of old in the little room at Nazareth when the angel brought the message, she did not see the whole road ahead, she only knew God had called, and she replied, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it be done to me according to your word." Luke 1:3-8. From that, yes, history changed course. A simple assent flung the heavens open and salvation poured into the world. So too when you say yes to heaven, even in the smallest thing, even if it is only to open your heart to love a little more, to forgive one more time, or to rise after a weary day, the light of that yes does not stop within you. It reaches the heights. The yes of a watchful soul touches earth and resounds through the heavens. I, Saint Michael the Archangel, have witnessed this 1,000 times in human history, and each time heaven's light grows stronger and the darkness recedes another step. A true yes does not spring from a fleeting feeling but from the will of a soul that has found its place in the light. It is a conscious response, a decision that renews the covenant between humanity and heaven. When you speak that yes, you not only accept a calling, you also allow heaven to act through you. The hand of heaven touches the world only when you consent to open your heart. Then you become an instrument not by power but by holy surrender, a yes that makes even the darkness tremble. At times you will think yourself too small to be called. But child, it is precisely smallness that makes you great in heaven's eyes. Heaven's power does not seek the strong as a dwelling, it seeks souls supple enough to flow through. When you say yes, you are permitting the light to move. When you choose to trust, you are letting heaven write a new chapter through your life. And when you walk in that light, you become a living witness of love, proof that goodness still triumphs and that light still reigns in the world. O soul of light, I speak not as one issuing a casual invitation, but as an echo from heaven. Let your yes become the heartbeat of every day. Let it rest not only on your lips but saturate every act, every thought, every breath. Each time you choose love over closing your heart, that is a yes. Each time you choose hope over despair, that is a yes. Each time you choose prayer over complaint, you are bringing heaven and earth to meet. I, Saint Michael, will always be at your side as a companion on that path. I will not let the flame in you die, for that flame is not yours alone. It is an outpost of heaven's light upon the earth. Do not fear if one day your heart feels dry, for in that very desert the true yes will sound again, deeper, stronger, purer than any feeling before. And then when your soul abides in the light of that fiat, every trial will turn to fragrance, every wound into a gate of grace. In that stillness you will hear me, Saint Michael the Archangel, whisper in your deepest heart, child of the light, you have answered. Rise, walk on, and let the light within you shine everywhere you go. For I am with you now and forever. Even now I see a marvel in your soul. Life has begun to return. After the wounds you are clearer, stronger, and more loving. The testing has taken nothing from you, it has simply stripped away the old husk to reveal the pure gold heaven placed within. Therefore, go delay no more. Carry that fire into life, into places still cold, into hearts still dim. Let people see the light in you and recognize heaven is still at work among us. Do not think you must be perfect to be sent. Heaven has never chosen perfect souls. Heaven chooses those who know how to love. With an honest heart and a single yes each morning, you are enough for me to work wonders. Live each day as a new meeting of heaven and earth, with your soul as the bridge between. Do not fear mistakes, do not fear slowness, only do not stop. The light within you will lead even when you cannot see the whole road. And on the days you are weak, lift up your gaze, not to demand a sign, but to remember that a whole host of angels stands around you, lifting the wings of your soul by my prayer. Let your heart rest in this peace, for heaven has never taken its eyes off you, not for a single heartbeat. I, Saint Michael the Archangel, bless you with the light of courage, the fire of steadfastness, and the living waters of mercy. Carry these graces into the world, and you will see each day, each small deed, each breath becomes a hymn of praise to the Most High. When you live thus, all heaven smiles, for you have become what heaven long dreamed, a light that knows how to love. And now, child of the light, I invite you to step forth. Stand tall, breathe in the clean air of morning, feel heaven all around. Open your eyes and look upon the world, not with fear but with the trust that the light within you is enough to illumine every path you tread. Do not turn back, walk toward the dawn where I await. I am with you, not for a moment but forever. And when you hear the wind pass by today, that is my blessing carried like a beam of light into your heart. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and turn on notifications to journey with Saint Michael the Archangel and spread the light of God each day.